I'm ready.
Welcome everybody to episode 1 of Exploring the Forest.
One too many.
One too many, yes sir. Wow, this is crazy. This started off as just a fucking text,
Yep.
just talking about our life experiences and how we want to share that with people and everything. And now we're here. Yeah.
Was it a text though?
Yeah, we were.
I think we were talking about it here in the cafe, right?
Well, we started off. I think talking about that there, but that's when we were texting each other afterwards. And
True.
Yeah.
True. So both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
But Dior, you want to give people a little more context about
What
how
we
this
actually
came
do.
about?
Yeah. Well, what is it about actually?
Why are we here doing this?
Why are we here? Great question. I guess both of us, we had our fair share of traveling the world. Fortunately, we're very privileged in that, of course. But at least for me, and of course we have spoken about it before, so I know for you as well, we haven't come across many people that look like us, I would say, during traveling. And we were wondering, like...
Was that good? Two good-looking guys, or no?
Slick mofos. True. But yeah, I felt at least like I didn't feel like I have like anything bad about it or something, but just like it's too bad, you know? Because for me personally, I love traveling. It's not for everyone, but for me, and I know for you as well, we both love it. And it's like, why don't other people that look like us do the same thing? What's with it? Is it lack of knowledge, money-wise? Maybe they're afraid, something. And with this podcast, I know you can explain your part as well, of course, but we have the same goal, but there are small things that we want to do different, but it's good, I think. You need many people to get somewhere. But for me, it's like, I just want to tell people what you can do during traveling, how it helped me evolve as a person. Like for real, people also told me like, you change for the better after traveling. And I want to, spread that message actually, spread the knowledge on like, how do you travel? What do you need to prepare for? What happens during your traveling? But just, I don't know. I just want to spread it with the world because it's sad that everywhere I went, I was like one of the few black people out there. Like, it's still okay. I love it. I still love it. But What about you?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with everything you're saying. You know, I feel for me, it's kind of trying to give inspiration to people. You know, I feel like typically people that look like us or may come from our backgrounds, but just in general, people in life, you know, I feel usually have, excuse me, my burp, usually have kind of a certain frame that they put themselves in terms of what they're supposed to be doing in life, you know, where they're supposed to go, how life is supposed to look like for them. And I feel like for sure, you know, speaking of people with our kind of backgrounds, the people that look like us, the idea of traveling, going to, you know, experiencing different cultures, learning new languages, you know, things like that. That's not common things that people think in their frame of life that that's what they're supposed to do, you know?
True.
And so, you know, we've had conversations about some of our experiences. It's like, this should be the case for, you know, a lot more people. Like, people should, you know, be aware of the possibilities and things you could do. So hopefully, you know, through this and the conversations we'll have with people on this show will inspire people to be like, well, that's really cool. Let me like branch outside of my world, you know, that I'm used to, and like go experience something different, you know, talk to someone that's different from me, and whatever the case may be, just inspire that branching out, I guess you could say. It doesn't have to be crazy travel in terms of, you know, going to another country or something like that, but just in general, just branching outside of your comfort zone. I think that's what it comes down to. So.
And I guess like you said, even if they don't want to travel, that's also fine, of course. You don't have to. We just want to inspire you, like, okay, this is what you might encounter when you travel, you know, what might happen to you. And if you do want to do something with that information, great. If you don't, also great. We're not here to tell you like, do this, do that. It's all up to you. We just want to spread some knowledge, let's say.
So, I mean, with all that in mind, I think we should tell the people a little bit about ourselves, you know? So, I mean, you want to kick it off? Like, who is Dior?
I'm going to go first?
I can kick it off if you want me to.
Okay, now I'll go first. Adele, yeah. So Dior Adel, you would write Adel,
Okay.
but in Dutch you would say Adel.
Adil.
And Dior, I know it's not a common
Is that too
name.
much information out there? Putting your full name? Should we?
I'm putting my full
Everyone
face,
starts
my full
searching you
voice
now?
on internet. I have Instagram, Facebook, so I'm already out there, so that's
Alright.
okay.
Government's watching you already. It's okay.
Apple, let's go. But no, yeah. So Dior and a lot of when I meet people, they always like ask me like, "Is that your real name?" Like yesterday, I told you I went to a small festival, and I met some people there, and I'm like, "Oh, really, Dior?" And some people say like, "Oh, it's strange." Some people say like, "It's cool." It's just something that's with me forever, of course.
It's a dope name.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate it.
Every time I say you think about your name, I'm like Christian Dior.
Everyone does. Wherever I go, when they hear my name, all the guys go, Christian Dior, Dior. I'm like, I know, yep. No, but like, let's see, 29, born and raised in Amsterdam, Holland. I grew up in the Belmer, it's called. Lived there my whole life. I think I moved out when I was around 21.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you want me to tell me? Or
Yeah.
ask me actually?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, you said you're from the Belmar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Give some context about the Belmar, because me here in the Netherlands, I know a little bit about it, but for a viewer that has never heard of the Belmar, how would you describe the Belmar?
So the Belmer, I love it personally. I would actually want my kids to grow up there as well. But I do know people from outside of Belmer or from outside of Amsterdam, as the Belmer is a part of Amsterdam. They view the Belmer as a place where there's a lot of criminality, a lot of violence. And I'm not gonna lie, there has been some of it. Not gonna lie. I do think because most people would think that way. They have that conviction of it because of what they see on television or what they hear on the radio or through rumors. And I would say it's when you live there, it's different. I grew up with my family close with me. I was never alone, never. I would go to my grandma, I would go to my aunt, with my cousins, with my nephews, with everyone. I would always be with family, you know? And even if it wasn't with family, I would be with my neighbors, the kids. I would just go outside, play football, soccer, or do whatever. So it was a really nice place. The social cohesion, I think you say? Cohesion, yeah. It was really strong because like I said, I'm not gonna lie. There was criminality, there was violence. A common demeanor for the Belmer is also most people don't have a lot of income, I would say. So, but through that, we actually took care of each other because we all knew we don't have too much. So we all had to make it work together, So, and that's what I really still love about them. I remember barbecues where the whole neighborhood was invited. It's not like, oh, it's just me or just my friends. And it's like, you can come. It's not like Oprah, let's go, So you never felt left out. So whatever your background is, in the Belmer, there are lots of cultures. You have people from Ghana, people from Suriname, where I'm from, actually Surinamese. I don't know if I already said so. You have people from Morocco, people from Asia, doesn't matter where.
It's a big ass mixing pot.
It's a huge mixing pot. But I like that because that's also why I want my kids to grow up there. You get to know how to interact with people from different backgrounds, not just your own people, if you can call it like that, but just almost all people from all around the world, and that really helped me through life. So that's for me, the Belmer, it's still a special place, and I'm not gonna lie, yes, some things have happened there, but still.
But in all parts of the world, things happen everywhere.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my background actually.
Nice.
What about you?
So about myself, so I'm Samuel Hines, 25 years old, born in Los Angeles, California. But I really consider myself from Fontana, California, because that's where I lived during my formative years, let's say. But yeah, from there, I feel like I've just become a child of the world in a sense, I should say. But yeah, so first, being born in LA, for me, kind of the same experience that you mentioned. I spent majority of my time at my grandma's house with my cousins growing up, and to me that was like the most lit experience ever. Like you always had like my cousins were not just like my cousins; those were like my brothers and sisters. They're like my best friends, and we just did everything with each other.
Yeah.
So growing up, I really had that sense of like family and community as well, like really instilled into me. And to this day, that's something really important to me. Like even though I'm not living close to family, I'm always checking in. I'm always FaceTiming, texting, all that kind of stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
nice.
something really important to me. But just in terms of growing up in LA, first I lived there until I was about 10 years old, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because when I was living in LA was all I knew. I rarely ever went anywhere outside of LA.
Yeah.
So, for example, Fontana, the city that we ended up moving to, which is a suburb of Los Angeles, I remember before we moved there, I had an aunt that was already living there. And, if you're from LA, you're used to city life, people always outside, noises, just always something going on,
Yeah.
And I remember this was back in 2003, like we would visit my aunt in Fontana, the suburb, and it's just super quiet. People not outside, kids not playing outside, like super clean, like it was like a whole other world to me. You know what I mean?
Did you like it?
Yeah, initially it was super strange. So it was fun to go visit my aunt.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I could see all I knew was LA. So LA
You would be happy to go back to LA.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. And so I was used to just like that regular LA city life, and I would be with my cousins and family and the friends that I had in school, etc. So when it was time that my parents decided that they wanted to leave LA, go to Fontana, dude, I was so sad. I was heartbroken, man. I was like, how I'm gonna leave my cousins, I'm gonna leave my aunts and uncles, my grandma, my granddad, like I'm gonna leave my school, like my friends there, and just like this way of life that I've been used to,
Why did they move you guys out there? Or why did you move as a family, of course?
Yeah, great question. So basically, for my parents, they felt that it would, give us the, best opportunity in terms of a better upbringing.
Okay.
They wanted to give us something different than what they experienced. Mm-hmm. They wanted to put us in a place where they felt was more safe, etc. Yep. So, for them, they wanted to give us that suburban life. That typical American suburban life with the home and the front yard, and you know what I mean, and the pets and things like that. So, yeah, that's.
But did they feel like was there? Did something happen for them to think like that, or was it just in general they felt like?
I think just in general.
Okay.
So, I think just in general, for them, as I said, they experienced a certain life and upbringing, and they just felt like.
Also in LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were both born and raised in LA, and I think perhaps it's part just I think society, the impression that how would I say it, the kind of the image that society creates in terms of what's considered to be a better life and like striving for that.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of pressure may have, factored into their decision as well in terms of, like going to the suburbs, like that's what's considered doing better. That's like that next step in life. So I think that's what they wanted to give us. Me, my brother, my sister. But yeah, I'm super appreciative of it for it because not saying that growing up in Fontana is a better thing to do than growing up in LA, but just the life that I had in Fontana, like that really shaped who I am today and the people I met and all that. So I'm super thankful for that, that they made that decision. But yeah, when we ended up doing that move to Fontana, I was super sad at first. But then, quickly, really just, it became home for me. The people, like I said, the people that I met, the schools that I was into, we ended up getting 2 dogs, and those dogs were just everything for me. Like the whole life that was.
So real quick, you're a dog person or a cat person?
I'm a dog person for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Dogs are like I don't know, man. They're like a human almost. The funny thing to me about dogs. This is totally a big ass segue, but like with dogs. Do you ever think to yourself, like, I swear I've had a conversation with them? Like, you feel like, and then you think about
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You never exchanged a word with a dog. You used to told a dog a word.
But for real though, like, they can feel your emotions. Like, I think so at least. I'm not sure, of course, but it's just with dogs. At cats, I can like them, but sometimes I think like they're the devil, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, no.
I feel you, man. But I was super thankful for the dogs that we had. Rest in peace to both of them, Mike and Luna. Shout out to you guys. But lived in Fontana until I was 17 and graduated from high school, and then from there I went to Arizona
Yeah.
for university, Arizona State. Shout out to the Sun Devils. And yeah, man, as I said, from there, after leaving Fontana, it just kind of became a child of the world. Lived in Arizona, lived in Spain, lived in Chile.
And that's a crazy part.
I lived in the Netherlands.
You live in the Netherlands now.
Yeah.
But I think what's funny is like how we actually met.
Yeah.
Because we didn't meet on travel or in the States or when you were here. We met, I think, 2.5 months ago now.
About 2 months. About 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, yeah.
You want to tell the story on how we met, or should I?
You go for it, man.
Yeah?
Go for it.
Man, you're putting me on the spot right now. No, so like, I think I met her first, yeah. So I studied, or after high school, I went to university, and I did a year abroad in Mexico.
Yeah. ¿Hablas español?
Un poquito.
Poquito.
Don't try me though.
Vamos a hablar español. But not now. Continue.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Depends on how I feel.
Okay. I got some tequila lemonade in here. That helps you.
No, I actually went to Mexico City. I did my study abroad there. What do you call it? Exchange.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool time. I loved it. Like I went there to, I just wanted to experience a different culture.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I want to learn Spanish as well.
Yeah.
I had some Spanish already at high school, but I was like, okay, I don't want to go to Spain because Spain is cool, but it's still in Europe. Still, it feels like relatively close by.
Yeah.
So it's like I want a completely different experience, completely different culture somewhere across the world.
Yeah.
So I ended up in Mexico because there you didn't need to know any Spanish yet. So that was perfect for me. And while I was there, I actually met this really, really, really cool girl, Katie, from New Zealand. Shout out to Katie. Wow.
That's crazy.
We didn't even rehearse that. That's crazy. And actually, like even after our exchange, we stayed in contact. Like I think 2 years after she came to Europe, and we did a small trip through Portugal and Spain. That was really nice. I really enjoyed it. And then I don't know. Like I said, I think it was 2 years ago, and then I think 3 months ago now, I got a text from her saying like, "Hey, I know this person from LA. No, New York it was.
Yeah, I was living in New York City.
Yeah, you was living in New York City. Just like, you know.
Actually, no. I was living here already, but I
True.
Before her, I was living in New York City.
Yeah, well, you met her. But that's your.
Oh, when I met her, I was yeah.
And I was like, "Does he have any friends?" She was like, "Nah, he needs someone." I was like,
"Wow,
send him over. Send him over."
That's how we're gonna do this. Go ahead, continue.
No, so actually,
he's capping, just so you guys know.
The truth is somewhere in the middle always.
Yeah.
No, it was cool. She sent me the text, of course, saying like, "I know this dope ass guy, Sam. He lives in Holland right now. I think you guys would really make good friends." So I think we met up 2 weeks after, maybe.
It was pretty soon after.
Yeah, pretty soon. I think it was a nice day somewhere in summer. And as you know, of course, you were there. It clicked like immediately, like the interest that we have. We both work in finance, actually.
Yeah.
We love doing sports, just everything Spanish as well. We click on so many levels, although we only know each other now for like 2.5 months. And the fact that we're here doing a podcast together or a video or whatever it is.
It's wild.
After just knowing someone 2.5 months.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I don't know. But I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Super, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, on my
Katie
story.
Exactly, please.
So I was living in New York City prior to coming here to the Netherlands, and this was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2019.
What did you do there?
What was I doing in New York City?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was living and working out there, working in finance for a bike share company. Bike share, basically, if you rent a bike and ride around the city, it's called like City Bike in New York City, but they had other same like systems, we call them, in other cities like Chicago, Minneapolis, etc.
Like the OV-fiets here in Holland?
Yeah, similar to that, yeah. And I was working in finance for them.
Yeah.
But with Katie, so I was also, before living in New York City, I was working a job in Chile And so that job in Chile, I had a coworker that I knew through there that was living in New York City, and he knew Katie.
Yep.
And then one time when Katie was in town visiting, he came through, and then I met her at that time, and we talked, and she was a pretty cool person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so from there, what's it called? Yeah, she saw I was living here now in the Netherlands. So one time she messaged me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, I know this guy that I think you would like really click with. You guys have a lot in common." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm always down to meet someone. I'm a social ass person."
You know what's funny? I was actually wondering how that went. I was like, did you end up texting Katie like, "Hey, I'm here. Do you know anyone here?" Or
No, she just hit me up out of nowhere one time.
I really didn't know that actually.
Yeah, she just hit me up out of nowhere one time on Instagram and was like, "Yeah, there's this guy I think you should meet." Yeah, and I was
Katie,
like,
man.
"All right, yeah." And then she made that group chat with us
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Matchmaker, man. Yeah.
For real though. For real. Katie,
Yeah.
you have a talent for it.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, dude, we linked up, and I was like, "Yo, this is wild." Like, it's one thing to have like certain things in common with somebody, but like the things that we had in common were like really like specific things. I can't think off the top of my head, but it was like, wow. Like,
I know one thing. I already said it partly, but like, I went to Mexico, like for a really big reason was to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you went to Barcelona. You did an exchange there as well.
Yeah.
Also, really to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, you could have gone to Mexico because it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was already like, wow.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah. And yeah, you speak Dutch, fluent Dutch. Ik ben aan het leren Nederlands. And I'm learning Dutch. That's what I just said. And so yeah, I got the same languages in common. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
True.
But I'm curious. For example, you did study abroad in Mexico, and part of that was you went to learn Spanish. You also said you wanted to experience a different culture.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there was something that you experienced in life prior to that inspired that, or are you just naturally someone that wanted to explore and wanted to? You know what I mean? Go for those kind of experiences. What do you think led to that?
No, good question actually. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Like, did that inspire you, or were you already inspired? Like, no, let's see. I think I was always already like, I always want to learn new stuff.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be like cultural wise, but just new things.
Yeah.
In this case, and like I said, also learning Spanish. So for me, I think I already had it in me. Like before, I did some traveling as well. I went to Southeast Asia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was really cool as well.
Yeah.
Like completely different from South America,
or
Latin America actually. But like really cool, like learning wise, culturally wise, food. Of course, food over there in Thailand, amazing.
I've never been, so I don't know, but I like Thai food.
There you go. It's even better over there, trust me.
Yeah, okay.
No, so I think I always had it in me. I always like to meet new people.
Yeah.
So for me, what it did though, studying in Mexico or living there as well, of course.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Latin America. And I know, of course, you have all these different countries and there's not one culture, but still, you learn Latin America. They're all like, because I did traveling as well through South America, through South America.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that they all have in common is their warmth for other people. They will invite you inside their homes.
Yeah.
They will help you out regardless. That's what I love. Because that's, like I told you in the beginning, with my upbringing, like not just our family members helping us out or we helping them out, also our neighbors, just everyone around you. And I had the same feeling in South and Latin America. So that's just, I don't know. For me, that was perfect. And also, of course, the language. Now that I speak un poco de español.
Muy bien.
Gracias. And just nature-wise as well.
Yeah.
Nature was crazy. I've been to I forgot the name actually. It's in Peru. It was made.
Oh, you talking about Machu Picchu?
Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No, I've never been. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a country outside of Chile?
I went to in South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Brazil.
Ah, true. Yeah. I went to Brazil.
Yeah.
No, like just everything there was for me. It was like at one point it was feeling like I went home because like I had the same feeling at home, and the other one's like, but it's also so many new stuff that I get to learn here. So for me, yeah, I don't know, just so that's actually one thing that Mexico sparked for me. So yeah, that's my story. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's interesting. I feel like if people look at like my Instagram or something, or people that just met me recently, probably feel like I've had this super crazy travel life my whole life or something. When I talk about some of the stories and all that, it's like, well, like, as if I've been doing this forever. But honestly, it wasn't until 2017 that I really started to really explore other places. Prior to 2017, the only time I was out of the country, out of the U.S., was twice, I think, by that time, to Mexico. For like spring break trips and whatnot, and yeah,
of course,
yeah. There's like this city near the ocean in Mexico that all like the ASU students go to.
Yeah.
Puerto Peñasco. All my ASU students don't know about that. But yeah, outside of that, man, I didn't have a passport until I was 21 or 20 years old.
It's so crazy for us, like at least people in Holland. Like we get a passport as soon as we get born. Like for you guys, it's so crazy.
Yeah, I remember Lynn, my girlfriend. Shout out to you. She would always tell me like that's so mind blowing that you guys don't be having passports like that. I'm like, yeah, that's normal. Where I'm from.
Yeah.
But man, funny enough, like if you know me, I guess I was saying earlier, if you know me now, you would think I've always just been like loving to go and travel, experience different countries, this and that. But like I was not doing that at all for most of my life, and I just knew when I entered college, I wanted to study abroad because I had a cousin that I did it in London. And, when I heard about that, I was like, oh, that sounds like, a pretty cool experience.
So he actually inspired you back then?
Yeah, she for sure inspired me initially to do that, I would say. And, it was my last semester at university. Technically, I was already done with college. I kind of had like a free semester left. And from there, I was like, I could either graduate early and start working, or I could like go have fun for 4 months and study abroad. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I'm about to go study abroad,
That's also funny because I had exactly the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, dude, I remember going into the study abroad office, and the only thing I had in my mind was I want to go to a Spanish-speaking country. Like, that was the only thing that I was thinking of. And I remember I go to the office, and like, I tell her that, and she gives me the options. And I remember vividly, like, the two things she pointed out were two places, I should say, were Costa Rica and then Barcelona. And I was like, I didn't really know shit about Barcelona except for like cheetah girls. You know what I mean? Like some stuff that I may have like, read about it in history books from time to time growing up, but nothing like super detailed. Yeah. And I didn't really know anything about Costa Rica either. Like once again, this is like highlight like how ignorant I was of like the rest of the world, But as I said, I wanted to do like a Spanish-speaking country, and I saw a photo of Barcelona. I was like, oh, that looks nice. So I was like, yeah, let's do Barcelona. Like literally, that was my thought process going to that decision. And dude, yeah, as cliche as it sounds, like that study abroad experience like really, really changed my life. I would say for sure. Through there, it was, as I said, it was like for me, it felt like my first true time like really, really exploring. Because usually when I went to that town, those 2 times I went to that town in Mexico, like it was like with all American college students, and it wasn't like too far from the border, so it didn't really give that vibe all the way of like I'm out in a different area, Yeah. But when I did study abroad, man, obviously that's you're going with American group, American students and everything. But for me, I made a key point to really like do it in a way where I'm gonna go out and branch off and meet people from this area and really.
Nice.
Like dive head first to this experience and like really try to get a good vibe of like the culture and learn the language and things like that.
Yeah, because did you know already some Spanish before or?
No, like nothing. Okay. Like the basics, of course, like hola and like cómo estás and
dos cervezas.
Like uno dos tres, yeah. Because especially being born in California, like there's a lot of Latino people in California, so you automatically kind of have some sense of the language, I would say. Yeah. And I think that's what inspired me to want to learn Spanish, is just kind of having that affinity to it throughout my life, like having that attachment to it, I guess. But still, yeah, I just knew like the basics. I remember so clear, my first day arriving in Barcelona, and I did a homestay. So, you have the option to either just live in like an apartment with other students or do a homestay. Yeah. But once again, this ties back to me wanting to like get more ingrained in the culture and everything. So
the homestay, you stay with people who actually live there in
exactly,
Barcelona, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So my homestay mom was like older lady that lived on her own, and she took me in as well as another student. Shout out to Spence. Hope you watch this.
Also from the States?
Yeah, from Colorado. But I remember my first day. So I arrived before him. So she came to the airport. Like, you're there with all the other people in the program, bro. We were in the car, and it was just her and I, and I remember just trying to think of like because she really spoke like no English.
Okay.
Yeah. So I remember just trying to think of like some basic ass sentences I could try to put together with like the little Spanish that I did know.
This is so funny.
Bro, it was I was mixing up words. I was like calling vegetables green, because like the word like I can't think. Exactly. I was like mixing up words like that, making no sense at all.
Yeah.
What I was saying. And we just couldn't communicate with each other,
Yeah.
But I and funny enough, throughout my experience during that study abroad, I feel like I kind of had some friction with my homestay mom because of the fact that I couldn't really, communicate and like speak. Like a lot of times she would ask her questions about like the questions she wanted to ask me. She would ask them to my roommate because he had a high level of Spanish, Yeah.
Oh,
and so that was like, I was like, but I'm happy that happened because that really drove and inspired me to want to learn the language. And so like I was there for 4 months. During those 4 months, like when I was in class, I was really trying to like as much as possible, like learn and pick it up. When I was in the streets, I would just go out and just throw myself out there, just asking people questions, directions, everything, all in Spanish. Like,
wow.
And I really like by the time I left, obviously I wasn't fluent or anything, but I was able to like really have normal like basic conversation, I would say, and definitely improved with the relationship that I had with her. And shout out to her. I actually back in so I did study abroad in 2017, from January to like end of April. And I actually came back to Spain like end of 2018, and I just like pulled up on her and like said hi and everything.
So nice.
And then we were talking in Spanish. She was mind blown with like the level that had been at the time. Yeah, dude, it was a really cool experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
You should have made a video about it.
I should have.
Wow.
Yeah. But now I'm doing a story about it now.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But those kind of things though, that's part of these kind of stories, kind of experiences. Like these are the kind of things that I would hope to inspire for other people as well. I'm sure for you personally, how often have you had experiences where you're like, this is wow, like, I can't believe this is even happening, and it seems like such a unique thing that's occurring. And as we said earlier, like doing something beyond what you would expect for someone from your background or like where you're from and all that. Like, would you say that happens often in some of the things you've experienced?
Yeah, to be honest, like I can think of something at the top of my mind right now, but I know like during traveling, I would feel like, whoa, my mom would think this is amazing.
Yeah.
Or this friend or that friend or this cousin. And that's exactly my point. Like, and again, traveling is not for everyone.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I just know like, for some people at least that I think I know, if they would give it a chance, and if they're able to, of course, they would love it.
Yeah.
They would absolutely love it. Like the things you're saying right now, and just when I like, so for some people, for example, when I talk to them, they're like, oh, I love the nature, or I love this type of music or this type of food, but they enjoy it, and they enjoy it within their social bubble, if you can say it like that.
Yeah.
And that's all good. But sometimes then I don't know, somewhere, and I'm like, this person would have loved this,
Yeah.
It's too. I just feel bad for that person. But yeah, I have to say it's hard. Yeah, I don't even know what to say right now, actually.
No, I'm curious though too. You talked about through your experience, you saw often that there were not people that looked like you.
Yeah.
Is this something that you more so reflected on after, and like when looking back on these experiences? Were you in a moment like, whoa, were the other black people? You know what I mean? Or like, were the other people that looked like me? Like, how did that impact you in the moment in those experiences?
It doesn't. And that's actually funny because that's how it actually also is and went in my normal life, I would say. It's not like I have a traveling life and a normal life.
Yeah, it's just
let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Because like I'm aware of it during and also afterwards, post. But for me, also in my normal life, it's actually funny because I had this conversation. I think literally 2 days ago with two friends of mine, two black friends. One year that you met actually at a festival.
That was a fun day.
It was really cool, really good. No, but we were talking about it as well, like when we're in Holland, when you go. I know in the States it's different, but in Holland you have different types of education, let's say. And I went to a type of education where there are predominantly white people.
Okay.
So when I would go to class, to lecture or to whatever, I would be one of the few black people over there. And actually not even just in university, but also in high school. I went to a school, because I grew up in a Belmer, like I said.
Yeah.
But I went to school in Oud-Zuid, and Oud-Zuid, for people who know Amsterdam a bit, they know Oud-Zuid is like rich white people. And I went to high school over there. So also in my high school, I was one of the few black people. Yeah. So I'm already used to being one of the few. Yeah. And I really don't mind that. That's totally okay. Like, yeah. I made plenty of friends there, and growing up between many different cultures made me aware of how to like, and it sounds strange because everyone is a person at the end of the day, of course. Yeah. We're all the same flesh, blood, whatever. But also like the experience of being with mostly of only white people, that also gave me another, what do you call it? Another experience. Yeah, yeah. So for me, and that's also then the case, or was the case during the traveling. So I was really used to it, and I'm aware of it still. Yeah, like, yeah. When I'm somewhere in a room, I'm aware, but it doesn't. I don't let it affect me.
Yeah, I feel like we have the personalities that we could be the unique person in the room. Like we could be like the only black person, but you would never know. Like we could just mesh in with any
for
crowd.
Sure.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, 100%. And it's funny because I'm gonna tell a personal story now. Actually,
go for it.
Because like
we love personal stories.
Yeah, it's a. I don't even know how to describe it. But when I was in Peru, I was with this friend of mine. Yeah. And we went. It was King's Day. So King's Day here in Holland is a day we celebrate our king, of course. And it's a big party in Holland. Have you been in Holland for King's Day?
No.
Never yet? No. It's crazy.
Actually this year, but due to Corona it was...
Oh yeah, of course.
Dead, yeah.
Trust me, it's the 30th or the 31st of April, I'm not sure.
I had some orange on that day. Yeah.
Please do. But so we were there in Peru, at a city close to where Machu Picchu is, I forgot the name. And so on Facebook you had some groups for like Dutch people who were traveling. Yeah. So in those group people said like, okay guys, let's all celebrate King's Day in this hostel it was with a big cafe or a big bar. So my friend and I, he's also black. He and I were like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go there. You know, I think he had this. I'm not sure if he had the Ajax shirt on or he wore something orange. I know I didn't have anything orange with me, but I think he did. But I'm not sure about that. But then so we arrived at that place. Yeah. So we walked into the door, and I was just a random guy. He wasn't working there. He wasn't a bouncer. He was just a random Dutch guy. Yeah. And he stopped us and he was like, sorry guys, it's only for Dutch people today. It's a Dutch national holiday, wow. Whatever you call it. And we were like, what? And he's like, yeah, today it's King's Day. And he told us the story about what they're celebrating. And we were first...
Bedankt meneer.
Yeah, no. But first I was like, it didn't click. And I was like, but huh? So first I tried to play it off and like go with him, and I was like, oh really, King's Day? What is it about? Hey, your king? What's his name? La. So I went with him, and he really thought that I was clueless. Yeah. And then in the end, me or my friend, I think he said it actually. He was like, okay, dankjewel, we gaan nu lekker feesten. So in Dutch we said, okay, so thank you. Now we're gonna party. Yeah. So then he knew like, oh fuck, you guys are Dutch. But and not a funny thing, but the thing about that experience, and like I said, we actually talked about this 2 days ago. for me, when we went there, I already had this almost exact scenario in my head because I know we are in Peru. We are two black guys. We could have been from everywhere in the world, you know?
Yeah.
People, when they see us, they won't tell us, you're from Holland. I
Yeah.
get that. He as well, don't get me wrong. He gets us as well. But so for me, I go there with that back in my mind already, like, okay, this is something that can happen. If it doesn't happen, all good. If it does happen, I'm already there mentally, so it doesn't harm me. But for him, he's also aware of it, but like he said, it's like he really doesn't. He should have taught us himself actually, but for him it's just different. Like he's aware of it and he knows beforehand as well. He and I are also like really, like mentally we're really connected.
Yeah.
But for him it was like it destroyed his whole evening. You know, he was like, how can this person who doesn't even work here, who's just a random guy, tell us that we can actually not come in to party with them while we are also Dutch? And the thing was there weren't only Dutch people there. There were also people from Colombia there, people from India there. The whole world was there.
Yeah.
And still this guy had the feeling or the power that he thought he had to tell us like, hey guys, what are you gonna do? Because this is actually just for us. I actually forgot what I wanted to say with this, but at least I remember. What I want to say with this, things like that. It won't destroy my evenings. Like I'm aware of it already before and everything. But it's something I take with me every day. But I guess I'm not sure. You should tell yourself. That's something you take with you as a black person every single day.
Yeah,
I would say actually.
Yeah, no, it's actually really interesting because for example, when you're telling a story, you're saying but I understand in the sense of if you're mischaracterized as not being Dutch, like you're like, oh, I understand, but can you really understand that? Because from that perspective, you kind of are creating an image of what's a Dutch person, and
true.
With you understand that, you're basically saying that a Dutch person is a white person that maybe has certain color eyes or certain hairstyle. You know what I mean? Like there's an image of like what's a Dutch person, but you're just as Dutch as
true
another white that person that denied you. You're just as Dutch as he. So
true.
Why should you know what I'm saying? Like why should you understand that? Like what makes you less Dutch? Why can't you looking like this person at Dior is, why can't this be a Dutch person? You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%, and I wish that would be the case all around the world, because at the end of the day, we're all children of the world, I would say.
Yeah.
But also, to be honest, we are all human, and as humans, we make assumptions to avoid certain things. Like when we are afraid, for example, of snakes because we know it's programmed in our mind, like snakes, they can be poisonous, they can kill us. So we don't know why, but we're afraid of them. And so when we meet or when we hear about a certain group of people that like, okay, those group of people, they are always criminals or they always try to get into a fight or whatever. Of course, it will not be true for all those people, and maybe it's probably just a really small portion. But as humans, to guard ourselves, we then make the assumption of like, okay, so when I see this person, I don't have to do anything bad. I don't have to say anything bad to them, but just be cautious of what I heard on the news, on the radio, from other people, wherever. Because that's what we do when we bring up our children. We guide them. We tell them like, hey, when you go to this place, watch out for that. When you do this, watch out for that. So I would say I completely agree with you, and I wish one day that will be true. Yeah. But I do also see the point of like, we are human. We assume a lot of things, although it can be wrong. Yeah. I get it. I'm sorry. I get it. And again, it's not good, and what he did is really not good. One thing is like, I won't let one guy ruin my evening. That's one, and two. To be honest, I get it. If I would see myself on the streets somewhere in Peru, Holland would not be the first.
That you think.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I can lie about it and be like, but I'm also Dutch. Yeah, I am Dutch. I know. And I don't feel less Dutch than him. Yeah. When Holland plays, I'm the most Dutch guy you will ever meet. but I get him.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's Does it sound strange what I just said?
No. I get what you're saying, and I definitely agree in the sense of as humans we are automatically kind of compartmentalize. I don't know if I'm saying this word correctly, but compartmentalize things in terms of, or kind of like create groups in our head automatically, just to, like quickly process and associate something. Okay,
Exactly.
so for example, Dutch person, it should be this.
Exactly.
And if you don't fit like that thing that's automatically in my box, it's like, oh wait, no, like you're not that. You know, we're not really taking the time to think through like, okay, yeah, he's a black guy, but maybe he's Surinamese and he was born in the Netherlands and he's just as Dutch as you're not really thinking through all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
But I am curious in general beyond just being a black guy in the Netherlands, just being Surinamese. How is that experience in the Netherlands? Like, is it almost like how would I say it? Like a whole other like subculture within the country, or do you feel like it's pretty well integrated in the country? Like, how would you? How do you describe that?
Both.
Yeah.
I think, both. You just, like what happened with the guy in Peru, of course people see that you're different. It's different when you're French and you move to Holland. They will not see something different from what the typical Dutch person looks like. But no, like, I think Surinamese people, because we have this close relationship with Holland, and so, like, at one point, on the one hand, people know about Surinamese people. They think we have really nice music, nice food, all that stuff. But on the other hand, we're also people who they do not know too well, So, and actually, like, for me personally, I'm kind of lucky in the sense that my experiences, I've experienced some racism, but also a lot, like when I speak Dutch, we call it ABN. It stands for, I don't know how to translate it.
Wat bedoel dat, jongen?
Yeah. No, so it stands for actually like the clear Dutch, no accent.
Okay.
I do have a bit of an accent actually, but no like real thick accent or no like dialect, just like straight up Dutch.
Yeah.
And because I use certain words, sometimes they feel like, oh, but you do not talk like the Surinamese person from TV, or you do not talk like this, or you don't act like that, So what I've heard sometimes was, yeah, you're Surinamese, or yeah, you're a foreigner, but you're different. You're a good one. You're one of the good guys. I'm like,
really, you've been told that?
Multiple times.
That's crazy.
And I hate it. They see it as a compliment, but it's really not a compliment.
Yeah.
You're still cussing out my mom, my dad, my brother, whoever.
Yeah.
I'm exactly the same as them.
Yeah.
Just the thing for them is they heard about foreigners on TV and they have what do you call it? A view on them, like, oh, so what I saw there is ABCD. So they are ABCD, while we are just humans, and as Dutch people within are different from each other, we are also different. Yeah. But that doesn't make us bad, good, whatever. Yeah. But so at the one hand, people know about Suriname as well. Already in Holland, so it was easy. Yeah. In a sense, easier than compared to some other countries at least. Yeah. But on the other hand, at the end of the day, I'm still a black guy, so they still see this potentially aggressive, whatever kind of person. So, yeah, it's both. Yeah, it's both.
That's really interesting, though, bro, what you said about the whole comment.
I want to talk about you as well, but okay.
Yeah, the comment. No, yeah, I'm gonna get to a point about me. Like the comment of people kind of saying, "Oh, you're different," or this, and people may say that as a compliment, but it's like, no. For one, like, don't try to separate me from like my people, Exactly. And two, it's like I'm just as much those people, I may have these different experiences or I may come off differently, but at the end of the day, like, and I say that the connection with me is like, that's how I feel. Like I could go travel to every country in the world, I could speak every language in the world, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna always still see myself as that kid from born in LA that I could hang out with my cousins and we could just turn up to like some ratchet Cali music. You know what I mean? And like just by like that's me still at the end of the day. You know, I don't care like where the world takes me, or I don't care like what things occur in life, whatever. How people may say, oh, like, oh wow, that's you did this. Like no, like, at the end of the day, I'm still fucking that same Sam that, you know what I mean? Like I said, could just go kick it back in LA or whatever with the fam and just, you know, be regular, you know, because like
same.
That's never, at least as long as you're like staying true to yourself, like those things that shape you from the beginning, like that would never leave, you know. That would never leave, and I would never want it to. I never want to be like this person, you know, tying into the whole concept of all this. Like I don't want to be this person that's coming off like, oh, you need to like travel and all this because it makes you this or it makes you, you know, like no. Branching out and experiencing different things, it's great. I really, you know, I would say like recommend it or like, you know, I advocate for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day too, it's like, stay true
how
to like,
did it actually change you? How, like, you went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
You lived in Chile, actually. We didn't talk about it yet, but you lived in Chile as well. You worked there. And you said, like, in the beginning, like, and I know it's a really hard question to, like, answer and pinpoint, like, okay, I changed in this way.
Yeah.
But, like, how did it change your, let's say, view of the world when you, like, went to Barcelona and Chile, and I'm not sure any other countries. Yeah, Brazil, you said.
Yeah, I think for me, man, you know, funny enough, in all these different places, yes, there are differences. Yes, there are different cultures, there's different customs, there's different, you know, just vibes about the life and all that. I'm sorry, I had a burp again.
No worries.
Shout out to the tequila lemonade. But I think one of the special things that it showed me is that no matter what, people are all just people, you know?
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing. And, you know, maybe it's part of my personality where I'm just like very social and just outgoing, and I just like to like just mess with different groups and crowds. But at the end of the day, I feel like I've never been around people where it's like, oh my God, like you're so much different. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like, no, at the end of the day, it's like we're all just humans. Like we may speak a different language, or we may, you know, have a different assumption of how you should live life, or this and that. But at the end of the day, like we're all still just fucking people, you know? And I don't know if that's, what was your original question again? Like about how it changed me though. You're saying,
how it changed your worldview. Yeah. I
think that's one of like, because before experiencing these things, you have this thought that like, oh my gosh, someone from this place is gonna be way different, or this, you know what I mean? If I go,
it might be scary for someone to go somewhere else where they've never been to before.
Exactly, because you're like, I just know the people around me, and I'm more comfortable with that. So I think it changed because I used to have that perception, you know, and when I think about these other countries and whatnot, it's like, whoa, like that'd be so wild, you know, to be around those kind of people or those places or whatever. Yeah. But after experiencing, I think it changed like my perspective that like once we're all just people, you know. But you know, beyond that, it just I don't know how it is for you personally, but I think when I had that first experience in Spain of like really like traveling and bouncing around throughout Europe and stuff, like that itch to explore was in me forever. I felt
exploring the foreign.
Yeah, exploring the foreign. Did we even say the name of the?
I don't think so, actually.
All right, yeah. Maybe we'll edit this back later to like add it at the beginning. But exploring the foreign. That's the vibe for real. Like, you know, it's funny. I shout out to my coworkers. I hope they watch this. Like, there's 2 coworkers I had that I mentioned the names to, and they're like, "What the fuck? That name? That's a trash name." But like, dude, to me, it makes so much sense. Like. Yep. When I think of like the name exploring the foreign, it's like foreign. When you think about the word foreign, you think about, you know, different or something that I'm just not used to, or you know what I mean?
Outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. And like, I feel like both of us, we're kind of people that we want to explore that. We want to jump head first into like that foreign, you know, like that unknown world, and discover that. And so when I had that experience in Spain, that itch to explore the foreign has been in me ever since. And so that's a big way I live life right now. I would say always trying to find people that, you know, open up my ways of thinking, you know, or just be in situations that are like, I have to think to myself, like, how the hell did I end up here? You know, I love those kind of moments in life, you know, that's the kind of stuff that really drives me. But
but then as well, because you've been to then different parts of the world, so Europe and South America. Yeah. And like we just discussed, did you ever feel like these people are racist towards me, or I've been discriminated against just because of my skin color or whatever. Have you ever had that feeling?
Great question. No, I've definitely had some experiences. I think in general, and this leads to a whole other topic too, because I feel like how racist experience is very unique based off of like where you're coming from.
Yep.
I feel like my experience as a black person, as an American, as African American, is completely different from like maybe how you experience as a black person in the Netherlands.
Yep.
But nonetheless, I feel like no matter what, if you're black and you go outside of an area that's like a predominantly black country, you're gonna feel being black no matter where you're at. Maybe you might experience it on different levels, but you're always aware of that. You know. So that's one thing. But I've definitely had situations. For example, there was a time. This was 2018. Yeah, 2018 when I was in Spain. I was in Madrid, and there was a time it was like late night, and I was with a group of friends, from, like people from Colombia and some other country in South America, and we went to this grocery store, like a little small like corner store type thing, and it was me with a group of people, at least like 5 or 6 people or so, and we're all walking around, everyone's seeing what they're gonna get, this is that, and I'm like, walking around seeing if I'm gonna get anything, but I was like, nah, I'm good. And so I'm walking out with that entire group, and then the guy at the register, I'm with this whole ass group, bro, and he points to me.
All white people?
Huh?
All white, except for you.
Yeah, well, yeah, like people...
Latin America.
Latin America, but nonetheless, like, with fairer skin, at least compared to me. And he points me out in front of the whole group, bro, and it's like telling me, like, empty out my pockets. And I was like... Bro, come on, man! Like, it's insulting on multiple levels, and I had to go off on him. On that,
of course.
If anyone knows me, I'm a super chill guy. So for me to like go off on somebody, like something.
You know what's hard about this? With these types of situations where it's not clear that it's racism, but we all know it's racism.
Yeah.
It's like for people who do not. What do you call it? Like some people have never experienced this before, right? Mm-hmm. So it's always like, and they will always ask you like, "But are you sure it's racist? Maybe it could have been someone else, and now it's just you, and you feel like you've been discriminated against."
Yeah.
But that's a strange thing that I think people who have been discriminated against for no reason all feel. You just know.
Yeah.
You just
know. Yeah.
You've another experience in your life. You just know, like,
exactly.
Come on, we all know where I'm.
Yeah.
It's but experiences like that. Does it affect your traveling? Has it affected your traveling in any way?
No, I think at the end of the day, it's like, kind of as you said, the story you told earlier. It's like I'm not gonna let that impact me. At the end of the day, in the moment, I was pissed.
Yeah.
I think actually for a bit of that night I was pissed because I was like really broke.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But then after that it's like, fuck it, I'm still Sam Hines,
I'ma do me.
Yeah, I would just do me, you could be the most ignorant person in the world, but that's not gonna stop me from, living life and trying to do great things while on this planet, So at the end of the day, it doesn't impact me. All right, man. So, we gotta touch base. Mm-hmm. We gotta touch base. You've been talking about all these places you've been to. You talked about Mexico, traveling throughout South America. I'm sure you've been to quite a few places in Europe, man. Give the people what they want to hear. Tell us some crazy stories, Dior.
Some crazy stories. Good question. Because I'm thinking.
If you want, I can start. I got some things that come to mind right now.
Go for it.
All right, number one. So I mentioned earlier about those spring break trips to Mexico and stuff, Yeah.
Spring break
2016, I want to say it was. Mm-hmm. I know if Jose, if you listen to this, you already know what's coming. I had a friend, Jose, that he, let me rewind. I'm going on a spring break trip to the city of Mexico with a few friends. And, when we were deciding to do this trip, the assumption was that me and my other friends were riding with Jose.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, when we arrived, the day of that we're like about to take off, to do this trip. We pull up to Jose's crib, and come to find out, we're not riding with Jose. We're gonna ride with Jose's friend that we had just met this day. But it's spring break. It's we're just having fun, whatever. So not really sweating too much. Not trying to make it too big of a scene of it. Like, yo, I thought we were riding with you. Like now we're riding with some stranger. Like, nah, okay, we're all gonna get there. It is what it is. Because Jose had some other friends that were coming along as well.
But he was there as well when you arrived.
Yeah, we were all like driving separate cars, but like going there together.
No, I mean like when you arrived to the place of his friend, he was there as well.
No, so I arrived at Jose's place, but his friend was there. Yeah.
Oh, like that. Okay, yeah.
So it's this dude. I don't want to say the guy's name because then I feel like I'm like.
You don't
what's
have
the word
to.
I'm looking for? Incriminate him. I don't think that's the word I'm looking. Yeah. And so, but yeah, he has his friend, and the guy was like kind of, I don't want to say strange guy, but something kind of felt a little off before even embarking on this trip with him. But nonetheless, once again, it's spring break. We're about to go have fun. We'll go fuck it up in Mexico, But then, so we're driving with him, and this guy is driving crazy, bro. Like crazy.
Is he drunk or?
No. He's not drunk. He's sober.
Okay.
But so imagine, when you have a one lane highway or like a one way each side,
Yeah.
And so typically when you're driving behind a car, you're able to go to the other lane, but you got to like do it in a smart way. So you like hurry up and go around because there's traffic coming from the other side.
Yeah.
So typically, at least how I drive, how I perceive, like you want to make sure you have enough space to like get to the side and like see if there's any cars coming, and then like hurry up and go.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Yeah. But this guy, the way he was doing was literally like. He would just speed up right behind the car that he's trying to get in front of, like literally like right behind it, and then shift over to the next lane and then go around.
Wow.
So doesn't really leave yourself a lot of time and room to like see if another car is coming,
Yeah.
And so he was doing this throughout the entirety of the trip, and I'm holding on the whole time. I'm sweating like, oh shit, this is. But at the same time, like and it's so stupid. Like looking back, it's so stupid. But like that whole concept of being like a backseat driver, you don't want to be that guy that's like. Yo, chill, you're driving crazy. Like even when your safety is involved, there's just something that's about that vibe where you're just like, oh, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to like be that guy,
Yeah.
Which is stupid though, because looking back, I'm like, yo, I could have. Once I tell the story, you'll see. But like, yeah, I could have died. So basically, what ended up happening once was.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He kept doing that. It's happened multiple times throughout this like hour or so drive, hour or two drive, I forget exactly how long it is. And at one point, bro, he goes into the next lane. And there's a car coming at us full speed, and this guy is just driving like full speed too, and I'm just holding on like, bro, like we're like just look at this car coming at us like head on, like super fast, And the last minute, the driver just like swerved off the road, and accidentally like swerved back onto the road, and we got clipped from the back, like another car that was coming on like hit us from the back. And then the car flipped like 4 times, bro.
No way.
Yeah, but nothing happened to none of us in the car. Like when the car landed on the head, so like the car was flipped over when it stopped, and I'm just like sitting there like, I hope I'm good. You know what I mean? Like in the moment, so much adrenaline is rushing through and everything, but like, dude, opened the door and was able to get out of the car, but like it's just like smashed and everything, and we came out fine. But there's a lot more details to that story that I probably shouldn't put on this podcast. I'll tell you off there.
Yeah.
But,
please do.
Yeah, that was a really wild moment.
But like
this happened in Mexico.
That was in Mexico.
This was in Mexico when this happened. That's part of like what made it so wild. And there are some other things involved that could have got us in jail. That things that I was not aware of. Was part of the situation, but come to find out was part of the situation. And
I think I can already think of some stuff.
Yeah, could have for sure ended up in jail, but luckily everything ended up turning out okay, and that ended up being a really fun trip actually.
Really?
Yeah.
With that guy as well.
He kind of got left out for most of the trip after that.
Okay.
But literally that same night that we almost died, we were like in the club just partying like later that same day.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those moments in life where it's like, yeah, either you could just be down like, well, this happened, it's crazy, or you just keep going.
True.
Keep living, But yeah, that's one of the first crazy stories that come to mind. But that's just crazy in the sense of this accident happened in Mexico, and there were things involved with like the police coming and all that, and some wild situations.
Was there some bribing involved?
there was some bribing involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, there was some bribing involved. So yeah. What about you, man? Sip water.
No, I think my story. It's really hard, but I think it was. The story. No, it was in Bolivia, La Paz, the capital city of Bolivia.
Okay.
I wasn't there for too long actually in that city, but I loved it over there. It's amazing, really amazing. It's really high up. I don't know. I guess it's 2,500 meters, like above sea level. I'm not sure how much it is in feet.
Don't put the pressure on me.
I won't. But no, so let's see. Yeah, okay. So in La Paz, you have this really famous prison. It's called San Pedro.
Okay.
And it's also been not even mentioned, but like there were a few episodes of it on National Geographic. There are books written about it because what makes the prison so special is that it has its own social community in there. So prisoners actually sometimes live there with their families, so with their wives, with their children, with.
Wow, I've never heard of anything like that.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
But it's also known as being a really dangerous prison. So it's really. There are all these.
You get the best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds, indeed. But like, so all these crazy stories you hear about them. And actually, I think I knew about the book and I knew about the episodes, but I never really went into like, okay, so what's the deal there?
Yeah.
But so I was there. I met two guys from Switzerland, I think, another guy from England, and some other people. And we knew because we were all traveling. Most people that I met, myself included, were traveling with The Lonely Planet. Do you know The Lonely Planet?
I heard of that, yeah.
It's a traveling book.
Yeah.
So they have all these tips where you can stay, where you can eat, do whatever.
Yeah.
And in the book, it has a small passage about it. Did you say passage? Yeah. Passage about it, that on one point, like it says, like, okay, it's, thrilling. Other point it says like, but don't do it because it's dangerous. So they hype you up, but they're like, don't do it. Yeah. It's cool, but don't do it. So we were like, okay, we have to figure out what's going on there. So we heard from other people and also from the internet that you can actually visit inside, but you also need to bribe the guards there.
Really?
Yeah. I know it sounds crazy because you're in a foreign country, exploring the foreign.
Travel's a country, hey, let's go to prison.
Why in the world would you go to a prison? Why?
Yeah.
You have to bribe a guard to get in, but it's just, for me, like, I'm a adrenaline junk, right?
Yeah, I know,
so I love that.
An adventure junkie.
Exactly. Yeah. I just love to get into an adventure. I don't want to put my life at stake, of course, but I do love an adventure.
Yeah.
And I felt like, other people have done it. What's the worst that can happen? It should be okay. And to be honest,
Until now, one time it goes wrong and it's with Dior.
Don't spoil it. No, it's crazy because we knew it went wrong a couple of times, actually. We already read it on the internet. Like, people went in and they never came back out, for example. Yeah, crazy.
Shit.
But yeah, so we were like, we're gonna be fine. So we were there. We were going up to the guards. I think we were with four. We were with four back then, or five even. I don't know, 4 or 5. We went to the guards and we told them like, yo, you wanna have $10 and we can have a look. And it was like, he looked at us like, no. We were like, damn. Okay. Let's walk. Let's go walk a block, and then come back and let's give him 20. He was like, no, same thing, 30, no, 40, no.
Wow.
It kept going on.
He said, I'm about to play you guys.
Really?
I'm about to get this guy.
But I was thinking about it the other day. Actually, it was like, we know it's something that they do because it's everywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
So for him, it was also a risk. Because he could have gotten $50, dollars, which there is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or he could risk it all and get nothing. So it's a risk for both parties actually.
Yeah.
It's like a negotiation actually. It is a negotiation. But at one point he said yes. I don't remember at what price, but he said yes at one point. But to be honest, before, because you're still outside, I wasn't scared. I was like, just like, por favor, señor, pero... And we got actually tips from people in line because there were women with the children and, I don't know, mothers in the line. They told us, tell the guard you're here for, I'm just going to say a name, I don't know, just a random name, José de María. So, sí, mi tío es José de María. Sí. Es como 29 años, sí, muy alto, sí. No clue. No clue. And so, okay, so we passed the first guard, but then you have to imagine, you're inside a fucking prison, and you're not in Holland.
Yeah.
You're not somewhere where you know you're going to be safe.
Yeah.
You have no clue what they're about to do with you. So then I have to be like, I was like, oh fuck, we're in here. Okay. So now what?
Turn it back now, yeah.
Really no turning back.
I'm trying to imagine like what this looks like in my head. Like
maybe I can find some video footage on the internet. I'm not sure. I've never looked into it actually.
This guy was walking through like a tourist.
It was so we got, and there were several checkpoints in there. So we went to the first one, and the guard spoke to the other guards, of course. They all work together.
Yeah.
So they let us through, and we walk further, and then we see a gate, and through the gate we could see all the prisoners. We could see inside. They have these stalls actually where they sell. They didn't sell that for real, but like tacos, and there they sell Coca-Cola, and there they sell this, and there they sell that. They sold like I said,
so
it's
like some city, like
it's a city within a prison for real.
That's
You saw
wild.
children running around. It was crazy. I've never seen something like that in my life.
Yeah.
But so then we arrived at that part, and the guard, I think he was like the principal guard or something. He came up to us and he told us, "Give us your passports."
Oh.
And at that point, I knew, like...
Something went wrong.
No, like... You can do whatever you want, but if you lose your passport in that place, and like, if they tell you, I will only give it back to you for 10,000 euros, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Once they have your passport, you're done. It's over. So we were like, okay, we really want to go in there, but we were going to give... So we were looking at each other, and I don't know why. I'm still thinking about it, what made us do it, but we gave our passports actually.
Wow.
Yeah, thinking back about it, maybe it's because I'm a bit older now. I'm like, you are fucking crazy.
I can imagine the moment. It's like so much happening. You're like,
in the moment, I was like, but I'm here already. We already paid a guy, like, you know. But so we handed over our passports. And we're there at the gate, and they told us actually, like, okay, we give your passport, you can, walk around, do you. So we walk up to the gates, we're looking at the guy, he looked back at us, he was like, no. So we were there like, what's going on? Like, what you said? But I was like, I'm not gonna argue with this guy, he has our passport. I'm just gonna enjoy this moment, look through the gates. So we saw everything that happened there. He saw also the prisoners. No, they were both upstairs and downstairs. It was a 2-level prison. But for me, what was the most interesting part, I already said it, but still, just to see it's a whole community within. It was crazy. Actually, no, sorry, now that I think about it, there was one guy, he was upstairs and I had direct eye contact with him. And he looked at me like,
what?
And I was like,
oh shit.
That was crazy. But no, later, so we turned around and we asked our passports back, and I got scared again because, like, if they say no, there are 20 of them, all with big ass guns.
Yeah.
But still to this day, thank God that they gave our passports back, that nothing bad happened.
Oh man.
But I don't know how long we were in there for. I really, it could have been 5 minutes, could have been half an hour. I really have no clue.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most thrilling experiences I ever had on my trip, I would say.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, like as wild those stories are, like
exactly
when you look back on it, you would not want to have it any other way, you know.
100%. I wouldn't do it again, but I'm happy I did it.
That you did it, exactly.
Yeah. So, no, that was crazy.
So you guys heard it here first. Dior's been in prison, so I'm talking with a criminal, unfortunately.
Sorry, man.
Oh man.
It's not on paper though, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fake prison.
Okay.
Fake prison.
All right. Yeah. Dude, this has been amazing.
Agree.
I'll let you know that. I appreciate you taking the time to be on my show. No.
Okay.
I'm messing with you, bro.
No.
Nah, for real, man. This is dope.
No, really. I learned some new stuff about you. Really happy.
Yeah.
We got into like, quite a bit actually.
Yeah, no.
So really happy with that.
I think
So
it's
thank
interesting.
you.
I feel like the people might not know this, but we've only hung out 4 times now prior to this, 3 or 4 times.
I think this is the 4th time.
Yeah.
Man.
So I'm just as you guys are learning things about Dior, I'm learning about things about Dior right now on the
And
fly too.
same to you, of course.
Yeah, really dope. But man, episode 1 in the books.
It's a wrap.
Hopefully one of many. We'll see.
Hopefully, man.
Yeah, you know.
Hopefully, subscribe, like, share, or whatever other people say. Do it.
Yeah, por favor.
Por favor.
Ja.
Alsjeblieft.